Guys, I want to talk with you very quickly about lost identity. Lost identity. I feel our culture, um, not just culturally, but I say on a whole in many places. I see this a lot in Western civilization, Western cultures, that the roles have changed so much. You know, Grandmothers are trying to be the next hot girl. Older men who you consider to be, an elderly gentleman is no longer a person that will guide you and give you counsel, but is trying to date you, is trying to talk to you. And I know that there are still men and women who are out there, older people, that will still give you wise counsel and see you as a granddaughter or a great granddaughter, a grandson or a great grandson, and will guide you and will really give you godly wisdom. But this is so few and far between. And it's because people are losing their identity. Their mothers are competing with their daughters. Fathers are competing with their sons. And in some cases, they're trying to be their friends. And while as a parent, we can be, you can be a friend to your child where they will come to you and they'll seek you out, but more often than not, it's something different. It's like parents like, okay, I'm going to be your friend first and then a parent after. And so, sometimes I look around and I see people. It's not that you have to dress a certain way, dress your age. But I find that sometimes people are really, it just looks, there's a way that you can still dress nice and look good. And, you don't have to dress your age, meaning you don't have to dress like you're 60 or 70 or 40. There's no, I don't think there's a way to dress your way, but I find sometimes the maturity level or where that person is at often shows up in the type of clothes that they will wear. Because a lot of times the clothing and those outfits are really, really ill fitted. It just doesn't look right, And so it's just important that we can catch those things within ourselves, because even people who are young, right? You find that the clothes, there's this look that people are going for. There is a look that society or your culture or what fashion dictates you should look like, and people really just follow that. So, the question is truly like, do people really know who they are? Or are they just following the trend? They're following the norms of society. Do they know who they are? Oftentimes people are trying to recapture what they did not get. Well, when they were children or kids, they wanted to be fast. They want to be grown. They want to do things early in their lives. And so now that they're older, they want to go back. And they want to recapture their youth. And they want to be the teenager and the young adult that they defied when they were that young adult. That's why it's important, guys, we don't allow our children to get too grown too fast, too grown too quickly. Little girls, they're so different. And why you don't want to hamper them, we've got to mold them and your sons and let them be children. Sometimes you look at kids in the face, they look like they've been here before. They look like they have jobs. They look like they have, a mortgage to pay, and they're only 7, because of their attitudes. You see these little young girls that are so, they already know how to be seductive and how to be a certain way. And guys, it's you may say it's cute now, but it's really not. Certain things you got to be like, you got to bring them back in, let them enjoy their youth, raise them up in the word of God. You know, I can't say, people who are not saved, they're just going to do what they're going to do with their kids. And I'm not saying that they can't raise good children or raise children that are respectable. But you could raise them to be respectable. You can raise them to be great citizens in society. But what about their soul? What about the end? Because we won't always be. But there is like a switch in identities. The little kids are trying to be the teenagers. The teenagers are trying to be, little kids are trying to be grown. And the grown people are trying to be teenagers and young adults. Young adults are trying to follow what society says they should look like. Middle age, people in their 20s are following this brand that the world says is normal. This is how things should be. And so everybody's all mixed up. So the elderly is in young people's clothes. The child is trying to get in the teenage clothes. They're trying to have conversations, being in conversations and emulating things that does not pertain to them. And guys, it's because we're losing our identity. When you lose your identity and you're conformed to the world, it's like the world create clones of what the principalities and powers for your particular country, culture, and region dictates to you, and you follow those things. Let's follow after the Lord. Let's follow what his word dictates for us. And the thing about it is, the Lord is not a dictator. So it's not even a dictation. It's not a dictator, but a choice. He lays out godly principles for all of us, for the young, the old, the married, the unmarried. It's all in there, but it's up to us if we're going to follow that or not. Let us get our identities back, guys. Because very often people they have lost their identity and they don't know it. Why? Because it's natural and it's normal for them. A lot of people get their identities based on what their cultures dictates, how their family was raised, how it's always been. And while some of those things are good and it's good to embrace it, we still have to look beyond that. What does our Creator, what does God say? And so, guys, we won't find people that's trying to wear the itty bitty small shirts in grown bodies, the toddler tops, the 6 toddler dress on a teenage body, because that's how it looks. Because short and small has become the norm. People they don't wear underwears, or they're wearing a G-string because they don't want the panty lines to show. But guys, why are our clothes getting so tight that your panty lines are showing? So now the idea the enemy puts in your head is just don't wear panties. Think about the madness behind that. But funny enough, it is the norm. It is the norm for many people, young ladies, to walk around with the most precious part of their body left uncovered and open with nothing around it, because they don't want the panty lines to show, rather than get clothes that are not so form-fitting. And I'm not saying wearing ugly clothes. I'm not trying to go too far there, but there's so many beautiful clothes that are nice, that are stylish, that you won't have to worry about, I have to take my panties off now because this outfit I have on, it's so tight. I don't want the lines of my underwear to show. So the Satan says, then take your panties off. You see that? The enemy will slowly strip you of your dignity and let you just walk with all your organs out like an animal, because animals don't walk around with their stuff covered. You see? Anyway, guys, this message is not meant to insult anyone, just something to think of. Regain your identity through the Word of God, through Jesus. Let Him rebuild you and show you who you are outside of your culture, outside of your norms, outside of the disappointments and the hurts and the pain that you've been through. He wants us to get back in line. And that's only going to happen when you realize who you are in Him.